All praises to the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, in the name of the Holy Spirit. This is Sagala, coming back with another video. Now, I'm not sure if many of you are aware or go to the grocery store much, who does the shopping in your household, but there's a bread called Ezekiel bread. They call it Ezekiel 4 bread. And it's supposed to be a healthy bread, but I ran into a YouTuber who's doing a review about this bread and why he stopped eating it. So fair use, fair usage. Then I'm gonna play a little bit of this, then I'm gonna skip into the scripture, because as soon as I noticed the bread, like, okay, Ezekiel 4, they must never, the people must never have read Ezekiel 4. So we're gonna get it in the scriptures, but let's get into this video real quick.
Oh man, do I got a good one? Oh man, spitting everywhere I'm eating. I got a good one for y'all here today. Let me tell you, change your life for the better. Basically,
Let's skip some
you're
of
gonna be getting
this.
some. Alright, so I'm gonna run through a couple here. One's why they're bad, why I stopped eating it, and then I'm gonna tell you there are a couple ones they still have Ezekiel that you can eat. Alright? Oh, son of a damn beetle just fell on me, man. What the f?
Let's skip some of that. Let's get to the nitty gritty of him.
Basically, that's why I'm gonna run through it. So that one has the soybeans. Okay, this one has soybeans in it. That one. That's why. See, soybeans. I think soybeans or flax are the two highest, most estrogenic causing foods. Okay, meaning you're a man, stay the hell away from them. If you're just a woman, normal hormones, stay the hell away from them. If you're a woman and need to boost your estrogen, okay, maybe you can start implementing.
So yeah, I sort of skipped over some of it, but you know, one of the main ingredients that this man is concerned about putting in his body is soybeans, which is high in estrogen, and that's part of the emasculation of our men, of men. Okay, they want to emasculate men. They want them to their hormones to be imbalanced. You know, they want them soft, feminine. They want them to comply to this LGBTQ lifestyle that they're putting out into the atmosphere, okay, into society. Let's continue.
And some of that. And this is backed by science. It's been studied. It's not just me randomly talking. Just search soybeans and estrogen, flax and estrogen. I'm sure you'll start seeing all the freaking articles come up. Ton of scientists and other people who've done crazy research will pop up, podcasts and videos that they've done. So that's why that one's bad. On to the next one that is bad for you is going to be the Ezekiel 4:9 flax sprouted whole grain bread. Pop that up really quick. You can go back and pause that if you want. Ingredients in this one, a little bit different. Organic sprouted wheat, cool. Filtered water, awesome. Organic sprouted flax, what the f***, man? And that's the third ingredient. And, you know, ingredients are listed from most to least. And this one, the other one is a little bit towards the end more, the other one. And this one even has flax seeds at the end, too. It has organic sprouted flax. Get the f*** out of here. And then it has, at the very last ingredient, rolled in organic flax. So this thing is really trying to flax you up. Trying to flax up my gains. And I ain't...
Like this guy's saying, they trying to flax you up, okay? They want you a hormone imbalance, and this is what this Ezekiel bread looks like right here. Ezekiel 4:9. Now let's go to Ezekiel, the 4th chapter. Okay, I don't even know why people would eat this bread if they ever understood what Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, even says. So let's get it. Ezekiel 4. KJV. All right, so we got it pulled up right here. Let's go down to 7, therefore that thou shalt set thy face against the siege of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered, and that thou shalt prophesy against it. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another till thou hast ended the days of the siege. Why? Because the Lord had made Ezekiel to bear the iniquity of the house of Israel and the house of Judah. And when we get down to the history of those houses, that was a split that came in the days of Solomon's son Rehoboam, where the tribe of Judah and Benjamin split off from the rest of the 10 tribes, or let's say the rest of the 10 tribes, those northern kingdom 10 tribes split off from the kingdom of Judah, and they became two separate nations, but they were still the same people from their respective tribes though. Verse 7, therefore thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it. And this prophecy was for uh the Lord punishing Israel and Judah for going off celebrating other gods, worshiping other gods, uh idolatry, witchcraft, breaking of the commandments, whatever, okay? And this is the Lord prophesying, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that his people will go into captivity. Let's continue on, verse 8. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another till thou hast ended the days of thy siege, because he commanded Ezekiel to lay on his side. So for Israel, which sinned repeatedly ever since they had split off, he had Ezekiel lay on his left side, I believe, for 390 days to atone for their sins, and then for Judah and Benjamin, which is goes under the tribe of Judah. Okay, he made Ezekiel to lay on his right side for 40 days. But continuing on, now this is the point right here in verse 9. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley. This is talking about that Ezekiel 4:9 bread. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel, and make thee bread thereof according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. Okay, simple. Okay, so we saying, okay, that this bread, this Ezekiel bread, has all of these good things in it. Now let's keep reading down. And thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of an hin. From time to time shalt thou drink. Verse 12, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes. What shall you eat as barley cakes? The Lord is telling Ezekiel all of these ingredients that he's taking to make his bread, he shall eat it as barley cakes. And what else? So that means make like a little flat bread of it, okay? And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, verse 12, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. Okay, so he's saying take all of these ingredients that you had to make your breads, the beans, the lentils, the millet, the fitches, okay? So the Lord is telling him, hey, okay, you're bearing the iniquity. You're bearing the iniquity for these two houses of Israel and Judah, and these are going to be the things to come. So you do A, B, and C, and you're going to show them all of the things that's going to happen in their future. Okay, so this is what the Lord is, because Ezekiel is a prophet, so he's prophesying to the his people, or the Lord's people, which by default is his people. And the Lord said, even thus, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung. And what is dung? Dung is human feces, what they call shit. Excuse my language. Okay, so what shall you bake with this excrement? All of these ingredients that he's supposed to be making his bread with. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt make it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread defiled, eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Okay, so we are Israelites, talking to you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, uh, uh, the rest of the people who believe in this doctrine, okay? Why? Because we have been scattered into all countries and nations, and some of us even look like these other nations to where we have been driven into, but particularly here in the Americas, the United States, all 12 tribes of Israel are represented are represented under the false titles that they have put upon the people. Okay, so within these different demographics, the whole all of the tribes are represented. And this is the land of our captivity, especially for us so-called Negroes. We understand that we came to the Americas. That's what it was taught as slaves. Okay, so this and the Lord said, verse 13, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Then said I, Lord God, behold, my soul hath not polluted for my for from my youth up even till now have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself, or is torn in pieces, neither came their abominable flesh into my mouth. Then he said unto me, lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith. So when we talking about this Ezekiel bread, bro said he don't want to mess with it because it's flacking you up. Not only is it flacking you up, but it's causing it may be that true Ezekiel bread that's baked with human feces, and you'll never know it because they're not gonna put that on the they might put the scientific name for some excrement. They might put that scientific name on the back where the ingredients are, and you'll never know it. So people buying that, thinking that they're eating healthy, but they don't understand or get the concept of Ezekiel, the 4th chapter. This is where we shall eat our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles. Ezekiel 4 bread. Let's just get a couple more images of it. I have one more video I want to show. Ezekiel 4 bread. Let's get some images of that. I mean, and this is pretty much all of our foods, okay? Not just the bread, but all of our foods, and I'm going to showcase that with another video. Okay, let's get this in images. Okay, so they got Ezekiel 4:9 bread, Ezekiel 4:9. So does this have human excrement in it, or does it have cow dung in it? Okay, is it a bunch of bullshit? The world will never know. But I'm gonna call it bullshit just because these people always like to play on your ignorance. They don't know. A lot of people don't know the Bible, don't know what Ezekiel 4:9 says, man. And then let's go back to it. Cause I remember there was this one I'm not sure if she made artisan breads or she was a big producer or big manufacturer. But a while ago, they said they wanted to make bread that actually contained human urine. Bread with urine. Okay, so they wanted to do a spin-off on the Ezekiel bread. A French bread recipe. France baker uses female urine from public toilets to make Goldilocks bread. Okay, let's look at this one. Fair usage.
Today on Viral Theory Media.
And
In
this
Unbelievable
pretty old.
Media, a baker uses female urine from public toilets to make Goldilocks bread. July 8, 2020. Stream of wheat. An enterprising French baker is switching up her bread recipe, or should we say recipe, by using wheat fertilized with female urine harvested from public restrooms. Urine is a great fertilizer, said engineer and self-proclaimed eco-feminist Louise Riggett, who regularly gathers piddle from female urinals in the 14th arrondissement of Paris, reported RT. She's the brains behind Boucle d'Or, or Goldilocks bread. Riggett's goal, to break taboos over excrement, and create a sustainable food cycle. According to a new study published by the French Urban Planning Agency, some 29 million loaves of urine.
Let's get it. I'm not sure if that's nah, that's something else. Goldilocks, pan delicious egg and milk bread. Look at that. She using piss from urinals though to flavor the bread.
Delicious egg and milk bread. It's a sliced loaf.
Look, one bread got piss in it. The next bread might have that ish in it. Okay. You know, if you want to take what it says on the label literally, Ezekiel 4 bread. Now I have this other one. I have this other one that I wanted to play. Bam, this one. Let's get this video.
Would you eat this? It's meat, but I guarantee you it's like no meat you've ever seen before. That's because this stuff was grown from cells in a lab.
Clean meat is meat grown by cell culture rather than grown by an animal. From a scientific perspective, it's awe-inspiring.
Lab-grown or clean meat is slaughter-free and potentially more eco-friendly because it uses less land, water, and energy. At least, that's the promise. Okay, we know what you're thinking.
That's nasty. Ugh, doesn't sound right.
I'm not really into, lab-made things. It's unnatural.
It just seems off.
But if the scientists growing this stuff can overcome the ick factor, clean meat could help feed our growing population in more ethical and sustainable ways.
People will get used to clean meat in a hurry if it tastes right, if it feels right. If it doesn't, it's going to be a monumental thing to overcome.
Look at the consistency.
We visited a startup in San Francisco called Just. It's one of several companies trying to bring clean meat into the mainstream.
Would be little Sodom and Gomorrah that this starts up at. I got a lot of these startup businesses.
They say they'll be ready to take a product to market by the end of the year.
Area.
This is a big idea that you can manufacture meat in an entirely different way.
The big question, of course, is how does it taste? We were hoping to taste it for ourselves, but they told us it wasn't ready for public consumption. So instead, we watched as their CEO ate a clean chorizo taco.
I mean, right now I'm going to be the judge of it. Ultimately, the judge of this is millions of people that are eating it. It's really good, man. I mean, I think the important part is, does it pass the threshold, A, of is it really good? It does. And B, does it pass the threshold of is this meat? And it does.
For now, we'll just have to take his word for it. But they assured us that this is actually meat. So how do companies grow it? First, technicians take a small amount of tissue from an animal, then filter it and isolate cells that they can grow. That means providing warmth and oxygen, as well as feeding them salts, sugars, and proteins, essentially tricking the cells into thinking that they're still inside their owner. The cells naturally replicate as they would inside the body, growing into something that looks more and more like food. But while they can grow muscle, fat, and connective tissue from these starter strains, the big challenge is building them in a way that recreates the meat you're used to.
Nobody's anywhere close to lab growing a steak. There's different types of muscle cells, connective tissue, bone, pockets that aggregate a lot of lipids and fat, and all of that plays into the texture, the taste, the aroma, the appearance, the functionality of something in a pan or on a grill.
All right, so that's about it off that video. But we've seen the wickedness that's happening here. They want to feed people this stuff, meat grown in a petri dish. Okay. Why? Because what's eventually gonna happen? They're talking about these food shortages. You have the owner of Microsoft, CEO of Microsoft, founder, whatever the case, whatever he be. He's buying up all of this farmland, and they're making these farmers stop producing crops on it, buying up the land, and just sitting on it. Why? So they could eventually own all of the food, all of the food producers in the world. They can own it, and then they can, because they're trying to manufacture a famine right now. Okay, so if they get control of all of these resources, then they have control on how it gets pushed. So let's get Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You know, and basically all of our food is defiled here. That's why you got a lot of genetically modified, a lot of these GMO foods. Everything's processed. Nothing's natural anymore. Got all of these dyes in it, all of these monohydrosatro glycerin. You don't even know how to hell to pronounce some of these ingredients that they have in there. A lot of carcinogens within the food that we're eating. A lot of carcinogens within the cookware that we're cooking on. Okay, let's get Ezekiel the 28th chapter. In Ezekiel the 28th chapter lays out the blessings. Let's get the verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power. Okay, so it goes all the way down. Let's start at 12. And the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto the land in his season, and bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Okay, so obviously we're not living under that, because as a people, we don't own any financial institutions for the most part. Now let's go to verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Okay, so why did the Lord do this? Why did he proclaim these things in Ezekiel the 4th chapter? Because of what we just read right here. This is a contract that our forefathers had agreed to. Okay, so now if we follow the laws of the contract, okay, we'll get blessed. If we stop following the laws of the contract, well, guess what? I just read it. Let's read it again. Verse 15, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. And what's more cursed than not being able to when you go to your markets, you can't even get proper food. Can't even get proper nutrition. Everything is made with like I said earlier, genetically modified foods. You eating processed foods. You gotta really question the validity of what you're eating, because now you hear about them selling fake rice, them selling fake fruits, whatever the case be. You know, everything is polluted. Let's keep going. Verse 18: cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. So a lot of us don't even have flocks and cattle anymore. But still, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. And why is the fruit of our body being cursed? Because we're getting the byproduct of these pesticides being sprayed on our foods that's causing cancer, okay? That's causing this high fructose diet causing diabetes, okay? Because a lot of these ailments not only come from how we live, but what we're eating, okay? What we're ingesting, what we're intaking into our body comes out within, with these ailments if you don't do your body good. Verse 19: cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto, for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Okay, so the pestilence is sickness. And just as I went into, you get a lot of these sicknesses from eating your bread defiled in this land. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation. And a lot of people are, what do they suffer from? They suffer from high blood pressure, which I believe is a form of inflammation. Okay, your mama's legs be swollen, your dad legs be swollen, granny legs be swollen. That they want to, the doctors want to amputate. Okay, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Okay, so basically that's all I wanted to go into, and we really have to check some of these ingredients. We have to check the ingredients on our food. Okay, and we want to, especially our people, we want to stay away from these fast food outlets. Okay, we want to try to eat better versions of food. We want to prepare our food better. Stop frying it in all of this grease. Uh, we just want to live healthier lives. Although we know that we can't escape it all the way, because like how the Lord already told us, we're gonna eat our bread defiled. But we do have choices to what we can eat. So, fam, I just want to put that word out there, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Uh Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Till the next time.